What if the words you say every day are quietly shaping the woman you become? Have you ever stopped to think about how much power your language holds? How each phrase you choose to speak or avoid can either build your strength or chip away at it? This isn't just about communication, it's about identity. Every word you say carries weight. It colors how you see yourself and how others see you. Imagine the invisible blueprint that your words create, building either a fortress of confidence or walls that limit your potential. The truth is, an intelligent woman understands this deeply. She knows that her words are a reflection of her inner world, a mirror that reveals her value, her strength, and her boundaries. She chooses her language with care because she's learned that some things are better left unsaid, not out of fear, but out of power. The words she never utters protect her from losing herself, from surrendering her voice, and from shrinking in the face of challenges. What if you could start today by simply refusing to say certain phrases? What if by cutting out just a few words from your vocabulary, you could begin to rewrite your story? This is not about perfection or pretending to be someone else. It's about reclaiming your voice, your energy, and your self-respect. When you learn which words to let go of, you stop feeding the parts of you that doubt, diminish, or delay your growth. You open space for courage, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. Imagine waking up every morning with a sense of unshakable confidence, knowing that your voice carries the strength of your convictions. Picture how your relationships, your work, and your dreams would shift if you stopped saying things that undermine your worth or limit your potential. This isn't just a quick fix or empty advice. It's a profound shift in how you see yourself and how you command your life. The journey you're about to take will challenge you to confront the small but powerful phrases that sneak into your speech. The ones that keep you stuck, apologizing for your existence, doubting your readiness, or shrinking from your power. But it will also offer you a new way forward, one that feels like freedom, freedom from self-doubt, freedom from the invisible chains of limiting language, freedom to speak boldly, act decisively, and live fully. By the time you finish this, you will not only know the 7 things an intelligent woman never says, you will understand why refusing these phrases can change everything. You'll see how your words can become your greatest allies on the path to transformation. Stay with this, because what you say next about yourself, your life, your future, can become the first step to becoming the woman you've always wanted to be. This is your moment to own your voice and shape your destiny. Are you ready? Have you ever caught yourself apologizing for simply existing? Saying I'm sorry when you don't truly need to, when you're speaking your mind, standing your ground, or simply being yourself. This is one of the quiet ways intelligent women protect their energy and their worth. Imagine how much strength is lost in those unnecessary apologies. Every time you say sorry for who you are, you chip away at your confidence and send a message that your presence is a burden. But here's the truth. Your existence is not a mistake. Your thoughts, your feelings, your very being deserve respect, not apologies. When you stop apologizing for being you, you reclaim a piece of your power that was quietly slipping away. This shift is not about arrogance or shutting down empathy. It's about understanding that your worth is not something to be negotiated or diminished to keep others comfortable. It's about learning that intelligent women do not waste their energy apologizing for their authenticity or their ambition. Psychological research shows that people who over-apologize tend to have lower self-esteem and are often overlooked or undervalued. Apologies have their place, but when they become a habit to soften your presence or avoid conflict, they become a tool of self-sabotage. You deserve to stand tall and speak without fear of making others uncomfortable with your truth. When you refuse to apologize for being you, you set a boundary, a clear and powerful signal that your voice matters. This simple refusal is an act of courage. It challenges the old limiting belief that women must be small, polite, and accommodating to be liked or loved. Instead, it embraces a radical self-respect that inspires respect from others. Imagine the freedom in waking up without the weight of sorry hanging over your words. Every conversation becomes a place where your ideas matter, your presence commands attention, and your boundaries are honored. When you stop apologizing unnecessarily, you free yourself from the chains of constant self-doubt and people-pleasing. This creates space for your true confidence to grow, quiet, steady, unshakable. You begin to realize that your worth is inherent, not earned by how much you appease or soften yourself. This shift rewires how you experience relationships, work, and your own inner voice. You stop shrinking to fit the expectations of others, You stop carrying the burden of guilt for simply expressing your needs or desires. Instead, you step into a space where your authenticity is your greatest strength. This change is revolutionary because it starts inside you. In the quiet moments when you decide not to apologize for your dreams, your opinions, or your existence. It's a choice to honor yourself first, which radiates outward, transforming every part of your life. Let this be your declaration today. I will no longer say I'm sorry when I am simply being me. Your voice deserves to be heard. Your presence deserves to be felt. And your worth deserves to be recognized without apology. This is how intelligent women live, with power, with grace, and with unwavering self-respect. Will you join them? What happens when you say, I can't? Those two small words carry an enormous weight. They close doors before you've even tried to open them. Every time you tell yourself you can't do something, you plant a seed of limitation deep within your mind. It grows silently, shaping your reality without you even realizing it. An intelligent woman understands that these words are not just empty phrases. They are mental barriers that hold her back from reaching her true potential. Behind I can't is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But when fear controls your language, it controls your life. The moment you say I can't, you stop searching for solutions. You stop believing in your ability to learn, adapt, and overcome. Instead, you resign yourself to a smaller version of yourself. One defined by limits instead of possibilities. The science is clear. The words we speak to ourselves shape our brain's pathways, creating patterns that either reinforce growth or deepen obstacles. I can't rewires the brain for defeat, while I will try or I will find a way opens the door to resilience and creativity. Imagine how different your life would be if every time you felt doubt, you replaced I can't with how can I? Or what's the next step? This subtle change rewires your mind to focus on possibilities instead of problems. It builds a mindset that attracts solutions, not setbacks. When you refuse to say I can't, you embrace a mindset of growth, a belief that challenges are opportunities to expand, not signs to stop. This belief fuels courage and keeps you moving forward, even when the path is unclear. It is the foundation of true strength. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending everything is easy. It's about choosing to focus your energy on what's possible rather than what's impossible. It's about refusing to be defined by doubt or fear. Every intelligent woman knows that success is rarely about innate talent. It is about persistence and mindset. It's about showing up, trying, failing, and trying again with a steady heart. When you say I can't, you give your power away. When you say I can learn, you reclaim it. This shift is a radical act of self-love. It rewires your brain, strengthens your confidence, and ignites your ambition. You become unstoppable because your mind is aligned with action, not defeat. It's time to recognize that the words you refuse to say are just as important as the words you choose. Stop telling yourself you can't, and start proving to yourself that you can. Watch how doors open, how opportunities multiply, and how your own strength grows beyond what you ever imagined. This is the language of transformation. This is the voice of an intelligent woman. Will you speak it? How often do you catch yourself saying, it's not a big deal, when inside you feel a storm of emotions? Minimizing your own experiences is a silent form of self-betrayal. It's a way of shrinking yourself to make others comfortable or to avoid feeling vulnerable. But what if honoring your feelings, no matter how small they seem, is the key to unlocking deeper strength and self-respect? Intelligent women never say it's not a big deal because they know every emotion matters. Every hurt, every joy, every frustration is a signal from your inner world demanding attention and care. To dismiss your feelings is to deny your humanity. Emotional intelligence research shows that acknowledging your feelings, rather than suppressing or minimizing them, creates resilience and clarity. When you say it's not a big deal, you teach your mind to ignore important information, leaving wounds unhealed and confusion unresolved. This quiet dismissal can grow into a habit that erodes your self-trust and weakens your emotional foundation. The courage to recognize and name your feelings, even the uncomfortable ones, is a profound act of self-love. It allows you to set boundaries and make choices that protect your peace. Imagine how much stronger you become when you stop minimizing your experiences. You start listening to your inner voice with respect and kindness. This leads to better decisions because you're tuned in to what truly matters to you. This shift doesn't mean reacting dramatically to every feeling. It means giving yourself permission to feel fully and honestly without judgment. Intelligent women create space for their emotions because they understand that feelings are data, not weaknesses. When you stop saying it's not a big deal, you stop burying your truth. You bring your inner world into the light, where it can be understood, processed, and transformed. This is where healing begins, and where true confidence grows. Emotional clarity is a powerful foundation for action. It helps you communicate your needs clearly, protect your time and energy, and build relationships based on authenticity. When you honor your feelings, you also send a message to those around you that your emotional life is valid and deserving of respect. This creates a ripple effect, inviting others to honor their own feelings and deepening connections. The decision to stop minimizing your emotions is a radical step toward living fully. It frees you from the exhaustion of pretending to be okay when you're not. It frees you from the habit of self-silencing that keeps you stuck in patterns of doubt and dissatisfaction. Every time you choose to acknowledge your feelings honestly, you build a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. This strength is quiet, but unshakable. It roots you deeply in your own truth and powers your growth. The words you refuse to say shape the woman you become. Let go of "it's not a big deal" and open the door to emotional freedom, clarity, and power. Your feelings are your compass. Honor them, trust them. They are the language of your soul, guiding you to the life you deserve. Will you listen? How many times have you heard yourself say, "I don't know," and felt a flicker of doubt creep into your heart? Saying "I don't know" can seem harmless, even honest, but for an intelligent woman, it's often a phrase that holds back her power and potential. It's a phrase that can signal uncertainty, not just to others, but to yourself. Every time you say "I don't know" without a deeper intention, you risk reinforcing a mindset of hesitation and self-doubt. The brain craves certainty, clarity, and direction. When you repeatedly tell yourself that you don't know, your mind stays stuck in a fog of confusion instead of seeking solutions and growth. Intelligent women understand that it's okay to be in the process of learning, but they refuse to let "I don't know" become a final answer or a full stop in their journey. Instead, they choose curiosity, action, and ownership of their growth. This mindset rewires the brain from passivity to active exploration. It shifts the narrative from limitation to possibility. When you say "I don't know" with the intention to explore, to learn, or to figure things out, it becomes a gateway to growth. But when it becomes a default answer, it becomes a barrier that stops progress and dims your inner light. Imagine the difference it would make if each time uncertainty rises, you replaced "I don't know" with "I will find out," or "I am figuring this out." These phrases send a message of determination and self-trust to your subconscious mind, fueling your confidence and resilience. Saying "I don't know" often is a habit rooted in fear, the fear of making a mistake, of looking foolish, or of stepping into the unknown. But intelligent women meet fear with courage. They know that uncertainty is not a weakness, but a natural part of growth and transformation. They embrace the discomfort of not having all the answers as a signal that they are stretching beyond their comfort zone. This is where true learning happens. To refuse to say "I don't know" as a surrender is to claim your power as a lifelong learner and a courageous woman. It means shifting from a mindset of "I can't" to "I will." It means transforming uncertainty from an obstacle into an invitation. Every moment of doubt becomes a chance to dig deeper, to seek guidance, to try new approaches. This active stance builds momentum and creates a habit of progress, not paralysis. You become the architect of your own knowledge and strength. Your mind sharpens, your confidence grows, and your voice becomes more certain. The words you refuse to say hold the key to unlocking this transformation. "I don't know" can no longer be your default retreat. Instead, let it be a spark that ignites your curiosity and your will to act. This is how intelligent women step into their power, by embracing uncertainty not with defeat, but with fierce determination to grow. Will you rise above hesitation and claim your right to know, to learn, and to evolve? Your journey depends on it. Have you ever said "I'm fine" when inside you were anything but? That simple phrase can be a mask, a shield, and a prison all at once. Intelligent women understand that pretending to be fine when they are not is a silent form of self-denial. It's a refusal to honor the complexity of their emotions and experiences. Saying "I'm fine" too often can disconnect you from your true self, leaving your inner world unacknowledged and your needs unmet. This habit may seem like a way to protect yourself or others from discomfort, but it often comes at a much higher cost, the cost of authenticity and emotional health. Psychology tells us that suppressing true feelings creates inner tension and stress. Over time, this builds a wall between your outward appearance and your inner reality. When you say "I'm fine" but don't mean it, You are denying yourself the opportunity to heal, to seek support, and to grow. The intelligent woman chooses honesty with herself first. She understands that vulnerability is not weakness, it is strength. Admitting that she is not okay opens the door to deeper self-awareness and connection with others. It allows her to address the root of her struggles instead of burying them beneath a facade. Imagine the power in replacing "I'm fine" with honest, self-compassionate expressions like "I'm struggling right now," or "I need some time to process this." These words honor your feelings and create space for healing and growth. When you allow yourself to be seen fully, including your pain and uncertainty, you reclaim your emotional truth. This is the foundation of genuine confidence and resilience. It builds trust within yourself and with those who truly care about you. The choice to stop saying "I'm fine" when it's not true is a declaration that your emotional reality matters. It's a refusal to live in denial or isolation. It's an invitation to live openly and honestly, even when it feels uncomfortable. This honesty transforms how you relate to yourself and the world. You begin to prioritize your well-being and recognize when you need rest, support, or change. Emotional clarity becomes your compass, guiding you toward healthier choices and deeper fulfillment. The words you avoid saying keep you stuck in patterns of pretending and disconnection. Breaking free from this habit is a radical act of self-care and self-respect. It aligns your inner world with your outer life, creating harmony and strength. Let go of the mask of "I'm fine" and embrace the courage to be real with yourself. Your emotions are valid. Your struggles are part of your journey. Honoring them is how you grow beyond limitations and claim your power. This truth is the heartbeat of an intelligent woman's spirit. Will you let yourself be truly seen starting now? What if you stop saying "I'm sorry" when it isn't truly necessary? For many, those two words slip out automatically, a reflex to smooth over moments of discomfort, to keep peace, or to avoid confrontation. But intelligent women recognize that over-apologizing can chip away at their sense of worth and power. Every unnecessary apology sends a subtle message that you are somehow less than, that your presence or opinion is a burden. This habit teaches your mind to shrink, to doubt the validity of your feelings and choices. Psychologically, frequent apologizing when it's not warranted can reinforce low self-esteem and create a cycle of over-accommodation. You become conditioned to put others first, often at your own expense. The intelligent woman chooses her apologies with intention, not habit. She understands the difference between genuine remorse and the reflexive urge to apologize out of discomfort or fear. This discernment preserves her dignity and signals self-respect to both herself and the world. Imagine how empowering it would feel to only apologize when you truly mean it, when you've made a mistake or hurt someone, rather than as a knee-jerk response to every minor situation. This shift rewires your mind from self-doubt to self-assurance. It trains your brain to value your voice and presence instead of minimizing them. When you stop apologizing unnecessarily, you claim space in every room you enter. Your confidence grows because you no longer feel the need to seek constant approval or forgiveness. You stand firmly in your truth, knowing that your feelings, needs, and boundaries are valid. This is not about becoming arrogant or dismissive of others. It is about honoring yourself equally. This balance is where true power lives. Every apology should carry weight and meaning, a conscious acknowledgement that fosters connection and accountability. Intelligent women refuse to let apologies become empty words that dilute their presence. They communicate with clarity and conviction, owning their intentions and actions without shrinking. The words you stop saying are as transformative as the words you choose to speak. Releasing the habit of unnecessary apologies liberates you from invisible chains of insecurity. It creates space for your voice to be heard authentically and powerfully. It rewires your brain to value yourself first, which paradoxically strengthens your relationships because you show up as your whole, confident self. This transformation begins with awareness and a commitment to change your inner dialogue. Challenge yourself to notice when you apologize out of habit and pause to ask, is this apology truly mine to give? This simple question rewires your brain toward intentional communication and self-respect. Your presence is not a mistake. Your opinions are not burdens. Your existence deserves respect. From yourself, most of all. Refuse to say "I'm sorry" when you don't need to. Stand tall in your power and watch how your world shifts. Will you honor your worth by speaking only the apologies that matter? Your strength depends on it. Have you noticed how often the phrase "I'm too busy" slips out as a default excuse? A way to justify why you can't do more, be more, or show up differently. Intelligent women refuse to say I'm too busy because they understand it's more than just a statement about time. It's a mindset that controls how they value themselves and their priorities. Saying I'm too busy can become a shield that hides deeper fears. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping beyond what feels comfortable. It's a phrase that can trap you in a cycle of overwhelm and excuse rather than opening the door to intentional living. The truth is, everyone has the same 24 hours. What changes is how you decide to use them. When you say I'm too busy, you surrender your power to external circumstances and deny your ability to choose what truly matters. Intelligent women reclaim that power. They know that busyness is often a mask for lack of boundaries or unclear priorities. Instead of falling into the trap of I'm too busy, they ask themselves, what am I saying yes to? What can I say no to? This mindset creates space for intentional focus, for carving out time for growth, rest, and meaningful connections. When you stop saying I'm too busy, you stop living reactively and start living proactively. You take control of your time as a precious resource, not a burden. This shift is deeply liberating. It rewires your brain from scarcity to abundance, not just of time, but of energy, opportunity, and possibility. Imagine the power of replacing I'm too busy with I'm making time for what matters, or I prioritize what fuels my growth. These words empower your mind and heart to align with your true values. You build momentum by consciously choosing where to invest your energy instead of letting circumstances dictate your life. The phrase I'm too busy also limits your capacity to dream bigger and push harder. It can keep you stuck in a routine of excuses, convincing you that there isn't enough time for change or progress. Intelligent women break this pattern. They understand that meaningful transformation requires bold choices and time management rooted in self-respect. Saying I'm too busy less often means saying I'm committed more often. Commitment to your vision, your well-being, and your future. This commitment fuels courage and action, which build unstoppable momentum. The words you stop saying reflect the beliefs you stop living by. By releasing I'm too busy, you free yourself from the cage of overwhelm and create a new narrative, one of control, clarity, and fierce intention. This shift will ripple through every part of your life, reshaping how you show up for yourself and others. Will you choose to stop hiding behind I'm too busy and start making time for your true priorities? Your life, your growth, and your dreams depend on it. Have you ever found yourself saying, I don't know, to avoid revealing your thoughts, your opinions, or your true feelings? This phrase can become a silent surrender, a way to hide behind uncertainty or to avoid the discomfort of standing firm. Intelligent women know that saying I don't know too easily can limit their power and voice. It sends a message, not just to others but to themselves, that their perspective is unworthy or unformed. This habit can erode confidence and silence the very wisdom that deserves to be heard. The truth is, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be certain about everything to be strong or intelligent. What matters is your willingness to engage, to explore, and to express even incomplete thoughts with honesty and courage. Every time you say I don't know without pause, you miss the opportunity to own your voice, to assert your presence, and to grow. Intelligent women replace I don't know with curiosity and intentionality. Instead of hiding behind uncertainty, they lean into it as a space for exploration. They say things like, I'm not sure yet, but I'm learning. Or that's an interesting question. Here's what I'm thinking. This simple shift rewires your brain from hesitation to engagement, from silence to confidence. It builds your inner strength and teaches your mind to trust your voice, even when it's not perfect. The phrase I don't know, used carelessly, creates a habit of mental passivity. It teaches your brain to retreat instead of advance. Intelligent women know that growth happens when you show up fully, even with doubts, questions, and uncertainties. Saying I don't know is only limiting when it becomes an excuse to avoid participation or decision-making. The intelligent woman owns her curiosity and courage. She understands that her opinions, even if evolving, deserve to be shared because they invite connection, learning, and respect. Your voice shapes your reality. When you stop hiding behind I don't know, you claim space to influence your environment and your life. You build a mindset that embraces challenge instead of avoiding it. This transformation requires practice. Catching yourself when I don't know slips out too quickly and choosing to respond with openness instead. This conscious choice deepens your self-trust and sharpens your ability to think critically and speak boldly. The words you stop saying limit your potential, but the words you begin to speak open doors to growth and empowerment. Intelligent women refuse to shrink their minds or silence their voices through empty uncertainty. They choose curiosity, ownership, and action. Will you break free from the habit of hiding behind "I don't know" and start claiming your voice today? Your future depends on the power of your presence. Have you ever caught yourself saying, "I can't" before you even try? Those two words are more than just a statement. They are a barrier you put in front of your own potential. Intelligent women understand the power that "I can't" holds and refuse to give it any more space in their minds or lives. Saying "I can't" limits your future before it even begins. It is a whisper of doubt that grows louder with repetition, shaping how you view your abilities and what you believe is possible. When you say "I can't," you close the door to opportunity and confidence. It's a phrase that undermines your courage and builds walls where there should be bridges. But what if you reframed those words? What if you replaced "I can't" with "I will learn" or "I'm working on it"? This small change shifts your mindset from limitation to possibility. Intelligent women do not let fear of failure or uncertainty stop them. They embrace challenge as a chance to grow stronger and wiser. Every time you say "I can't," your brain sends a signal that you are powerless, reinforcing the idea that you are stuck or incapable. Over time, this creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. But when you choose to say "I'm figuring this out" or "I'm capable of learning," you create a different reality. One where effort, perseverance, and growth define your journey. This shift is more than just positive thinking. It is a psychological rewiring that empowers you to take action despite fear or doubt. Saying "I can't" is often an escape from discomfort or the risk of failure, but intelligent women refuse to live behind excuses. They understand that progress demands vulnerability and courage. Saying "I can't" less often means stepping into discomfort more often, which builds resilience and self-trust. Your words have the power to shape your identity. When you stop saying "I can't," you stop telling your brain to see itself as limited. Instead, you tell yourself that you are capable, resourceful, and unstoppable. This belief fuels motivation, creativity, and determination. It breaks down mental barriers and opens new paths toward your goals. The moment you choose to remove "I can't" from your vocabulary, you reclaim control over your mindset and future. This isn't about pretending everything is easy. It's about choosing to face challenges with a mindset that empowers you to grow through them. It's about owning your potential, even when the road is hard. Will you stop saying "I can't" and start saying "I will" instead? Your courage to change your words will change your life. Your dreams are waiting for the moment you claim your power. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to say "I'm fine," even when you're anything but? This phrase has become a mask, a quick automatic response that hides vulnerability, pain, or struggle. Intelligent women refuse to settle for "I'm fine" because they recognize the power and freedom in honest emotional expression. Saying "I'm fine" when you're hurting doesn't protect you, it isolates you. It builds invisible walls between you and those who could support you, understand you, or simply stand by you. The habit of brushing off your feelings as fine teaches your mind to dismiss its own needs. It creates an emotional bottleneck that stifles growth and healing. The truth is, strength is not in pretending to be okay, but in owning your reality, whatever that looks like in the moment. When you stop saying "I'm fine" out of habit, you start speaking the truth about how you feel, even if it's uncomfortable. This honesty builds deep self-respect and invites authentic connection with others. Intelligent women know that vulnerability is a sign of courage, not weakness. When you give yourself permission to be real, you reclaim your emotional power. This isn't about oversharing or seeking validation. It's about honoring your inner experience and breaking free from the pressure to appear perfect or unshakable. Saying "I'm fine" often acts as an emotional dead end. It cuts off the possibility of understanding, support, and growth. When you begin to express what's really happening inside, you open doors to new perspectives, solutions, and compassion. Your emotional truth becomes a foundation for resilience. This shift rewires your brain to accept that feelings are valid signals, not burdens to hide. You train yourself to listen deeply to your needs and respond with care. Imagine the power of replacing "I'm fine" with responses like "I'm going through something, but I'm working on it," or "I need some time to process. Thank you for asking." These words create space for healing and invite connection without shame or fear. The phrases you choose shape your emotional landscape. By shedding the automatic "I'm fine," you invite authenticity to guide your relationships and self-care. This change builds emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and express emotions healthfully. Emotional intelligence is a cornerstone of personal strength and fulfillment. It helps you navigate challenges with grace and honesty. Will you stop settling for "I'm fine" and start honoring your true feelings instead? Your courage to be real will deepen your self-awareness, build stronger bonds, and lead you toward a richer, more empowered life. Your emotional freedom depends on the truth you allow yourself to speak. Have you ever said, "I'm sorry," when you didn't truly need to be? This phrase can feel like a shield, a way to soften your presence or lessen the impact of your words. But intelligent women understand that over-apologizing can weaken their voice and diminish their confidence. When you say "I'm sorry" too often, especially for things beyond your control or for simply existing, you train your mind to believe that your needs and feelings are less important than others. It can create a habit of self-doubt, where every action or opinion feels like a potential mistake needing immediate apology. This constant need to apologize drains your energy and chips away at your sense of worth. Intelligent women choose their apologies carefully, knowing that real strength comes from standing tall, owning their space, and speaking their truth without unnecessary regret. They recognize the difference between genuine responsibility and unwarranted guilt. Saying "I'm sorry" when it's not needed can blur this distinction, causing confusion in relationships and inner conflict. Instead, these women practice assertiveness, a powerful skill that lets them express themselves honestly, without fear of offending or disappointing others. They replace automatic apologies with mindful communication. For example, rather than saying "I'm sorry" just to fill silence, they might say "Thank you for your patience," or "I appreciate your understanding." These responses maintain respect and connection while preserving their inner strength. Over-apologizing also signals to others that you might lack confidence or boundaries. Intelligent women know that boundaries are essential for healthy relationships and self-respect. By reducing unnecessary apologies, they set clear limits and expect others to respect them. This builds mutual trust and deeper respect over time. Learning to stop apologizing for being yourself is a radical act of self-love and empowerment. It rewires your brain to prioritize your dignity and encourages others to do the same. This shift requires awareness and courage because it challenges deeply ingrained social conditioning that teaches women to shrink, please, and take blame too readily. Each time you catch yourself reaching for a needless apology and choose a stronger alternative, you strengthen your inner voice and presence. Your words become tools for connection, not for self-erasure. Intelligent women understand that their presence matters, their voice matters, and their energy deserves respect. They refuse to diminish themselves through excessive apologies. Will you stop shrinking behind "I'm sorry" and start standing in your full power? Your confidence and peace of mind depend on your willingness to speak with clarity and self-respect. The moment you reclaim your words, you reclaim your life. Have you ever caught yourself saying "I can't do this" before even trying? Those words hold more power than we realize. They shape how we see ourselves and what we believe is possible. Intelligent women understand that the phrase "I can't" is often a lie we tell ourselves, a limiting belief disguised as truth. When you say "I can't," you shut the door on growth, on discovery, and on transformation. You close yourself off from the very chance to surprise yourself with your strength and resilience. This phrase keeps you trapped in fear and doubt, holding you back from the life you deserve. Instead of "I can't," intelligent women learn to say "I will try" or "I will figure it out." These words spark hope and possibility. They open pathways where none seemed to exist before. Saying "I can't" becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when repeated over time, conditioning your brain to avoid challenges and retreat into comfort zones. But growth never happens inside comfort zones. Real growth demands discomfort, uncertainty, and the willingness to face failure as a step towards success. Choosing to say "I will" instead of "I can't" rewires your brain, activating motivation and creativity. It trains you to focus on solutions rather than obstacles. When you tell yourself "I will try," you shift from being a passive observer of your life to an active creator of your destiny. Intelligent women cultivate a mindset of resilience that transforms setbacks into lessons. They don't view failure as proof of inability, but as proof of effort and courage. This mindset frees them from the paralysis of self-doubt and empowers them to keep moving forward. Every time you replace "I can't" with a commitment to try, you rewrite your story. You send a clear message to your subconscious that you are capable, worthy, and determined. This shift builds momentum and ignites the fire of persistence within you. It strengthens your confidence one step at a time, even when the path seems unclear or daunting. Remember, the mind is your most powerful tool. The language you use shapes your reality. When you refuse to say "I can't," you give yourself permission to embrace possibility and potential. You break free from the chains of limitation and step into your power. This is not about pretending everything is easy or guaranteed. It is about honoring your courage to try anyway, to learn, to adapt, and to grow. Will you refuse the lie of I can't and choose instead the power of I will? Your future self will thank you for the strength you show today. The simple act of changing your words can change your life, because what you believe about yourself becomes the truth you live by. Have you ever found yourself saying, I don't know, to avoid the discomfort of uncertainty? It might feel safe to admit ignorance or uncertainty, but intelligent women know that the words they choose hold immense power. Saying I don't know can sometimes be an escape, a way to avoid vulnerability or the pressure to respond. But leaning into that uncertainty, even when answers aren't clear, is a hallmark of strength. Courage. Intelligent women don't fear the unknown, they welcome it as fertile ground for growth and discovery. They understand that true intelligence isn't about having all the answers. It's about the willingness to learn, to question, and to seek deeper understanding. When you say I don't know, it's important to ask yourself, is this a genuine admission or a way to sidestep responsibility or engagement? Intelligent women move beyond this phrase by replacing it with openness and curiosity. Instead of retreating behind I don't know, they say, I'm learning, or I'm exploring this. These words acknowledge the uncertainty while also affirming a commitment to growth. This subtle shift changes the internal dialogue from passivity to active engagement with life's challenges. The discomfort of not knowing is not a weakness, but a signpost pointing toward opportunity. Intelligent women embrace this discomfort, knowing that it's where transformation begins. They know that every expert was once a beginner who embraced their not knowing as a starting point rather than a stopping point. Psychologically, admitting I don't know without follow-up action can trigger feelings of helplessness or avoidance. But when paired with curiosity, it activates a powerful mindset of growth and resilience. This mindset reframes uncertainty as a chance to build new skills, deepen wisdom, and expand perspective. The moment you refuse to let I don't know become a dead end is the moment you reclaim your power. You take control of your journey by committing to explore rather than escape. This commitment fuels confidence because it acknowledges your ability to handle ambiguity and change. Intelligent women understand that life rarely offers simple answers or guarantees. They accept that uncertainty is a constant companion, but refuse to be paralyzed by it. They cultivate patience and perseverance, knowing that answers come with time and effort. Your relationship with uncertainty reveals your emotional strength. Choosing to say I'm learning instead of I don't know builds resilience and shows the world you are engaged, brave, and growing. It invites others to respect your curiosity and tenacity. This is not about pretending to have it all figured out. It is about honoring your potential and refusing to let fear of the unknown limit your growth. Will you choose openness over avoidance? Will you embrace the power of curiosity that turns I don't know into a gateway for transformation? Your courage to face the unknown shapes your future and unlocks the depths of your potential. The question isn't whether you have all the answers, it's whether you have the courage to seek them. Have you ever caught yourself saying, I'm fine, when inside you feel anything but? The urge to mask your true emotions with those two simple words can be powerful, but it can also be a trap. Intelligent women understand the deep strength found in honesty, especially honesty with themselves. Pretending to be fine when you're struggling does not protect you. It isolates you. It dims the light of your authentic self and builds invisible walls between you and the support you deserve. The phrase, I'm fine, often serves as a shield, a way to avoid uncomfortable conversations or reveal vulnerability. But beneath that shield lies a critical truth. Emotional honesty is not weakness, it is courage. Choosing to name your feelings, even when it feels scary or exposing, is a declaration of self-respect. It signals that you value your emotional well-being enough to acknowledge what's really happening inside you. Psychological research shows that suppressing emotions can increase stress, reduce mental clarity, and hinder decision-making. In contrast, recognizing and expressing feelings strengthens emotional intelligence and builds resilience. Intelligent women cultivate this emotional awareness by refusing to settle for I'm fine as a default response. They pause and ask themselves, what am I really feeling right now? This moment of pause, of deep self-check-in, opens the door to greater self-understanding and healing. It allows them to respond authentically rather than react defensively. When you honor your emotions, you regain control over them. You stop letting feelings rule your actions unconsciously. Instead, you become the conscious architect of your emotional world. This clarity empowers you to make choices that align with your true needs rather than masking pain or frustration. Imagine how liberating it feels to break free from the habit of hiding your truth. to allow yourself the grace of saying, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, or I need help. These words create connection with yourself and with others that I'm fine can never build. Intelligent women recognize that vulnerability is a bridge, not a barrier. They know that true strength is not about always being okay, but about embracing the full spectrum of their humanity. When you stop pretending, you invite growth. You open space for compassion, from others and from yourself. You model emotional courage that inspires those around you to do the same. The choice to reject "I'm fine" is a powerful step toward living authentically and fully. It is a refusal to carry hidden burdens alone, and a commitment to nurture your inner world with kindness and truth. This shift may feel uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is the birthplace of transformation. Will you give yourself permission to be real, to speak your truth and honor your feelings, to shed the mask that dims your light? Your emotional honesty is your superpower. It reconnects you to your deepest self and builds a foundation of strength that no challenge can shake. Your voice matters, especially when it speaks your truth. Have you ever found yourself saying, I don't need help, even when the weight feels unbearable? The urge to carry every burden alone is strong, especially for intelligent women who prize independence and strength. But refusing help is not a badge of honor. It's often a silent surrender to isolation and unnecessary struggle. The truth is, asking for help is one of the most courageous acts a person can perform. It reveals an understanding of your own limits and a commitment to growth rather than perfection. Psychologically, humans are wired for connection and cooperation. Rejecting help cuts off vital channels of support that can lighten your load and expand your perspective. Intelligent women know that true strength comes not from standing alone, but from recognizing when to lean on others. This is not a weakness, it is wisdom. Saying, I don't need help can stem from fear. Fear of appearing vulnerable, fear of losing control, or fear of burdening others. But these fears are illusions that trap you in an exhausting cycle of self-reliance. When you refuse assistance, you deny yourself the opportunity to learn, to heal, and to grow alongside others. You close the door to empathy, connection, and unexpected solutions. Imagine what could happen if you replaced "I don't need help" with "I welcome support." This simple shift opens your life to new possibilities and nurtures a network of mutual care. It frees you to focus your energy where it matters most, while others contribute their strengths in areas where you need it. Intelligent women embrace collaboration because they understand that no one achieves greatness alone. They know that every powerful leader, innovator, and changemaker has depended on a community, even if it was not always visible. Asking for help is a form of self-respect, a statement that your well-being and progress are important enough to prioritize. It also models humility and strength for those around you, creating a ripple effect of courage and authenticity. The path to transformation requires you to shed the myth that needing help equals failure. Instead, it calls for the bravery to be imperfect, to admit when you don't have all the answers, and to invite others into your journey. This vulnerability is fertile ground for growth, resilience, and deeper connection. When you reach out, you activate the power of shared humanity. You invite fresh ideas, emotional support, and practical assistance that can propel you forward in ways you never imagined. You also strengthen your sense of belonging, a fundamental human need that fuels motivation and happiness. The choice to say yes to help is an act of empowerment. It demonstrates that you value yourself enough to seek what you need and that you trust others enough to allow them to walk beside you. This choice rewires your brain toward collaboration, reduces stress, and increases your capacity to face challenges with grace and confidence. Will you release the burden of solitary struggle? Will you embrace the strength found in connection? Your willingness to ask for and accept help is not a concession, it is a declaration of your intelligence, your courage, and your commitment to living fully. Choose to stand in that truth today. What happens when you catch yourself saying, I'm fine, when inside you feel anything but? It's common to hide your struggles behind a mask of composure, especially if you value intelligence and control. But what if holding in your true feelings isn't a sign of strength, but a barrier to genuine growth? When you say I'm fine without truth, you disconnect from your own emotional reality. This disconnection clouds your self-awareness, leaving you isolated in moments when support and clarity are most needed. The intelligent woman knows that emotional honesty is a foundation of true power. Denying your feelings, or pretending they don't exist, limits your ability to process, understand, and transform your inner world. Psychologically, suppressing emotions triggers stress responses in the brain that reduce cognitive function and increase anxiety. Over time, This creates a mental fog that dulls your brilliance and resilience. You may push through, but at what cost? Saying I'm fine when you're not is a habit that denies you self-compassion, the essential kindness you owe yourself to heal and evolve. It also sends a false message to others, discouraging authentic connection and understanding. When you hide your struggles, you reinforce the illusion that vulnerability is weakness. But vulnerability is the gateway to courage. It's the act of standing in your truth, even when it feels uncomfortable or risky. Embracing vulnerability sharpens emotional intelligence, deepens relationships, and strengthens your inner resolve. Imagine how liberating it would feel to respond honestly to yourself and others. To say, I'm struggling, or I need time, or this is hard for me, without shame. This honesty is a radical act of self-respect and authenticity. It rewires your brain to release stress hormones, allowing clarity and calm to return. It also opens the door for support, encouragement, and solutions that you may have never considered while carrying your burden alone. When you honor your true feelings, you claim ownership of your emotional experience, instead of letting it control you from the shadows. You become an active participant in your healing and growth, not a passive victim of circumstance. This shift from denial to acceptance fuels motivation and creativity, because it frees mental space and energy previously wasted on hiding pain. Saying I'm fine when you're not is often rooted in fear of judgment, rejection, or appearing vulnerable. But these fears pale in comparison to the cost of emotional disconnection, burnout, loneliness, and stunted growth. The intelligent woman chooses to confront these fears head-on. She understands that the strength to admit when she's not okay does not diminish her value, it elevates it. It invites compassion, both inward and outward, creating a fertile ground for resilience and transformation. Your emotional truth is your compass. Listen to it without judgment. Speak it without hesitation. This practice is a daily act of courage that will revolutionize the way you engage with yourself and the world. Choose today to honor your feelings fully. Choose to be real, even when it's hard. This is the pathway to lasting strength, clarity, and freedom.